जब वो खड़े रहेंगे तब मैं भी खड़े रहेंगे।
सामने बैठना तू क्या करने वाला है?
मेरे को ये करना है
यूट्यूब लाइव कुछ मेरे को रोजगार दे दे यार। मैं अकेला सामने बैठ के क्या करूँगा? सामने बैठ के क्या करूँ? मेरे को भी रोजगार चाहिए ना, कुछ काम करने के लिए।
सुयोग दुबे आएगा दुबे।
दुबे ऐसा
हाँ बैठ जाइए।
चलो
बैठ यहाँ पे
मैम इंटरैक्शन में क्या होने वाला है? इंटरैक्शन में वो कुछ स्पीच देंगे?
हाँ
बैठ
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is my honor and privilege to stand in front of you on this occasion of interaction with Stalwarts of Chemical Engineering. I am Dr. Saurabh Dubaikar, I am faculty at Chemical Engineering Department. With the permission of the chair, we will start the session. I request all of you to kindly stand up for other university songs. Padmavibhushan Prof. Sharma sir. Request Mandar sir to please welcome Professor Pandit sir, Honorable Vice Chancellor of ICT Mumbai. request Mankar sir to welcome Padmashri Professor Yadav sir. I would request Registrar of the University, Professor Pandit sir, to welcome Mankar sir. I request Honorable Vice Chancellor of Delhi University, Professor Mankar sir, to share his thoughts on today's session.
Good afternoon. All the students, faculty members and staff gathered here. Padmavibhushan Professor Sharma, Padmashri Professor Yadav, who is also the chairman of our Board of Governance, Honorable Vice Chancellor of ICT University, Professor Pandit, our alumni who are present here, your administrators are present here, Registrar of the University, and everyone sitting in the audience. So today, whoever, the students, particularly our young students present here, there is a feast for them. It's a rare occasion for our university also, because 3 stalwarts in the field of chemical engineering, not only for our country but all over the world, they are well recognized and well known. About Professor Sharma, one thing many of you may be knowing, you may not be knowing, the most remarkable thing in his career is his entry to the teaching profession. He entered this profession at the age of 27 only, after obtaining his PhD from Cambridge under the supervision of Professor Nagpur. And he joined as a professor, directly as a professor. So joined as a professor and also retired as a professor. In between, he got many offers in his career, such as CSIR and many more. But he preferred and loved to continue as a professor in ICT. So joined as a professor and retired as a professor. I think perhaps it is the only example in the world. Because as a professor, many retire, but joining directly as a professor is not easy. And also, we should note the vision of the selection committee then. They have seen something very unusual in this candidate, Professor Sharma. And they thought that he should be given nothing less than direct full professorship. And he proved it. And he is very famous for many things, and in these days I think we should not read the biodata and give it an introduction, because if you just type Professor Sharma, you will get hundreds and thousands of pages about it. Another most important thing about him is he is the recipient of Padmavibhushan and many more laurels. His student and our chairman of BOG is also sitting on the same dais. So Professor Pandit, present Vice Chancellor, Professor Yadav, the first Vice Chancellor of ICT Mumbai, and Professor M. Sharma, because ICT is known then also and also. The first name comes to your mind is of Professor M. Sharma. And we are fortunate to have him here. Initially we have decided and we requested both Professor Pandit and Professor Yadav to speak on this occasion, but they said when Professor Sharma is there, we will not speak. So they are not going to speak. Maybe they will interact later in question and answer session. So maximum time we want to give to Professor M. Sharma for his address and later on introduction. And to all the chemical students here, you note down this day and this occasion when you were present and you are on this stage, all of you. And at the same time, I appeal to all to know more about them to Google. And most of our students who comes in these corridors, our different laboratories are there. We have posted a picture and brief information about Professor M. Sharma. How many of you have attended in this corridor? Almost. So he is with us today. He used to visit here long relation with Lakshminarayan Institute of Technology. Now it's university. And in our Platinum Jubilee celebration of Lakshminarayan Institute of Technology, Professor M. Sharma was the chief guest and we had a big program in Guru Nagpur. So with this, I invite Professor M. Sharma to address our students and faculty. Thank you.
My collaborators, the other and Pandit, faculty members, fellow teachers, young students. Chemical engineering is an enjoyable subject and enjoyable profession. I have enjoyed it all my life. I came as a young boy from Nagpur when it was difficult for me to explain to my grandfather and my father what is chemical engineering. And I am going to chemical engineering all my life, continue to live. I want to tell persons who have joined chemical engineering to say that how enjoyable is the subject, ever-changing subject, ever enjoyable subject, and of very crucial importance to society. I volunteered to give this talk because of my very old relationship. I used to stay with Dr. Megan, and I used to come in the early days, late 60s, when the only air connection was the airmail Dakota. It should land at midnight in Nagpur. We used to be examined for design paper. This anecdote was great. So students used to think, fellow has come late in the night, what will happen in the morning? The first fellow came and he was actually on the verge of crying. And out he went and there were people. मर गया बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन पूछे जाए तुम्हारे होम पेपर से because I spent 3-4 hours after that and went through the home papers that I was supposed to. So this is very old connection and many of these people I met later on. You know, ICT, UDCT has a very organic relationship with LIT. Number of my PhD students came from LIT. So I have a very close attachment to LIT. That is the reason why I volunteered to do that. Ladies and gentlemen, the chemical industry is an essential industry. You cannot live without produce of chemical industry. But your life will be much better with the produce of chemical industry. $5 trillion per annum global industry. First industry to go global, well before automobile and other industries talked about globalization. Chemical industry epitomized itself by globalization. The largest company, BSF, $80 billion per annum, they were already in US, they were later on in China, Malaysia, partly India. It is extraordinary. But before chemical engineering profession came into existence, we are talking of over 100 years ago, something happened which in my judgment was one of the epoch-making thing in the history of chemical industry, and that was the work of solvent process for making soda ash. Because it did something unbelievable by reacting to stubborn molecules within chloride and calcium carbonate by the trick of chemistry and chemical. I'm going to give you through the horizon to what was triggered by chemistry and what was triggered by chemical engineering. This was an example of very simple chemistry, physical chemistry being employed, and ingenious chemical engineering by Ernest Solvay, in whose name this big company exists, Solvay, of designing a double column reactor with sectionalization, which was the source of inspiration. And my collaborator David Joshi did some very elaborate calculation to show that what Solvay did was just right. The spacing that he had was sectionalized double column was just what modern theory. After that, of course, this area has become highly specialized. And the number of papers that have come on double column reactors and sectionalization and all is just unbelievable. We started in a simple way, and today it is in a very, that only shows you that no technology is ever mature. And I'll give you some examples in the history of chemical industry where breakthrough technology supplanted brand new existing plant. Brand new plant which came into existence got into this area because of the modern technology. They might never do that. The Solvay process also replaced a polluting process. First example in the world where a polluting company was ordered to be closed by His Majesty's alkali inspector in UK because he could smell rotten gas from a long distance because the Lagrange process, sodium sulfate being reduced to Na2S, carbonate and H2S was vented into that. Actually, in 1850s in England, H2S was vented into the atmosphere. Imagine the consequence of anything like that today. This I will bypass and then tell you what sulfuric acid did and what thermodynamics and chemical engineering did in the first major catalytic process that came was prompted an old polluting process, that chamber process, where you could see brown fumes emitting out. And process was called contact sulfuric acid because gases came in contact with their. And the first example, again before chemical law, adiabatically operated multi-stage reactor. Novelty, chemical engineering discipline was had to come into existence. And because you wanted very high conversion of SO2, so that emission of SO2 or the penalty of SO2 being scrubbed in caustic liquor from the outgoing gases can be reduced to double contact, double absorption. This was an outstanding example of application of thermodynamics. I am specifically referring to this because undergraduate students don't seem to realize great importance of thermodynamics in chemical engineering and chemical industry. This was one of the examples by using excess of oxygen, removing SO3 after stage 2, stage 3 and 4, you could bring down SO2 in the exit gas from 5,000 ppm to below 200. Then we had the marvel, which led to Nobel Prize, our option. In the history of chemical industry, to give one example, just one, do not give multiple choices. What was the most outstanding development in the history of chemical industry? You put your finger on Haber-Bosch process. what is generally not known to the public that incentive to make synthetic ammonia was not to make nitric acid for explosives. Fertilizer was later. And how ingenious was work of Haber, the physical chemistry, 5,000 catalysts to the spring, thermodynamics of non-ideal system need to be cranked out by experiments, and how important it was to engineer it because you were working at 200 to 600 atmosphere. And Bosch, the only engineer who got Nobel Prize, was Bosch. Haber Bosch process. Despite it was not Haber Bosch process. This was an extraordinary achievement. And look what would happen to humanity if ammonia was not found. Synthetic ammonia was not. Nitric acid itself saw wonders of chemical engineering. More of chemical engineering than chemistry. First, how you could selectively oxidize ammonia on a gauze catalyst, platinum rhodium gauze catalyst to NO. How you converted NO to NO2, N2O4. When you take lessons in kinetics, in physical chemistry and chemical engineering, you hear of first order reaction, second order reaction, third order reaction, and many times students wonder, where is this third order reaction? So this is the burning example of 2NO plus 2 going to 2NO2. This is the third order. So the scrubber, when you go from 1 atmosphere to 10 atmosphere for making nitric acid, your volume comes down by a factor of 1,000. And in the beginning, when this operation of absorption was done at atmospheric pressure, it used to look like a tank farm. Sweden was the leader because they were leaders in explosives, even today. And stainless steel was born for ability to handle nitric acid. There also NO2 emissions, you could see the brown color and how one went around bringing down NO2 emission by process innovation, and how online spectroscopy was used to find out why platinum rhodium goes wrong and that efficiency goes down. Mind you that if you don't have efficiency of ammonia to NO more than 95%, you are wasting your ammonia and unnecessarily generating heat. This was also improved. And finally, how you put whatever could be converted to absorber. Final absorption of NO2 was done with very ingenious simulations to make selectively sodium nitrate. Collaborator J.B. Joshi did some questioning work made also with money consulting to industry. Most of the highly selective nitride formation on NOx came out of the work in acid. Acid has many things which have come out, whether it was gas-inducing imbalance, hydrogenation, or better design of mixers, both they have done truly outstanding work, commercialized. That is the DNA of acid. The DNA of acid is you must publish in best of the journal after meeting all the requirements of teaching. No compromise on that. And deliver in industry. So whether it is gravitational work, LHG, other phase transport catalysis work, or the catalytic processes, they all saw order of the day. That's why we are often cited as an example of university-industry relationship. From there, I will jump to what happened to the most important item, caustic soda. You could make soap without caustic soda. Remember, the first detergent was soda ash and buffered soda ash. That's why it's called washing soda. It is one of the quirks of chemistry that Na2CO3 is washing soda, NaHCO3 soda bicarb is baking soda. And even India today produces more than 300,000 tons per annum of soda bicarb for baking industry. You can see sometimes quirks of the chemical industry, like saying cyanide is a poison. But cyanide is indispensable to make it gold. And how you use cyanide to do many processes like aging, which we have taught now. Caustic soda, of course, you know, there is no way to just split sodium chloride, no matter how high temperature you go into caustic soda and SA. No way. Impossible thermodynamic. So when it is impossible normal thermodynamically to invoke electrochemistry, and you could only make caustic soda by electrolysis. Although in the beginning caustic soda was made by plasticization of soda ash, in the soda ash factory only. Na2CO3 plus calcium hydroxide reversible reaction, we got caustic soda. But this caustic soda was impure, so it had sodium carbonate. We wanted pure caustic soda for rayon, it was called rayon grade caustic soda, which don't tolerate any impurity of sodium chloride. Now the diaphragm cell which came first with asbestos diaphragm is the typical example that no technology is ever mature. This diaphragm cell was the real way to make caustic soda. But you could go beyond 10% because asbestos could not stand caustic soda, stand higher strength. Then you went for multiple effect evaporators, salt crystallizers. Even then, 40-45% caustic soda contained 1-2% sodium chloride, which was not acceptable for the real. This gave birth to mercury cell. Imagine a flowing electrode. Mercury was flowing in a mercury cell, picks up sodium mercury amalgam, short circuit cell with graphite, it went to caustic soda. If you go to any strength till you are met the freezing point. Very nice example in so you could go to straight away to 48%, 46% caustic soda, and hydrogen came out. But this hydrogen had ppm impurity, ppb impurity of mercury. So for many hydrogenation for edible purposes is not acceptable. So it has to be purified even though mercury was at ppb level. That was also done. Then people made improvement in the membrane, not good enough. So it gave birth after the mercury cell and mercury poisoning, Manitoba case in Japan. India was the first country to completely ban mercury cell. Europe and America are still continuing with diaphragm cell as well as with mercury cell. Now only they are banned there, but India took the lead. All our caustic chlorine plants are membrane cells. So membrane cells came out of gift from space program because Nafion as a membrane was developed by the space program. And you could get the beauty of how membrane cell operates. It allows permeation of sodium, kicks out chloride. So you get absolutely pure caustic soda, and membrane can stand up to 38% caustic soda. Maybe even more today with the polymeric fluoroplastics that are used, and it came out. Now before that, when we were using graphite as an anode, science of electrochemistry has been exploited in chemical industry very well, but much remains to be done. Electrophoresis is an area which is emerging now. And first example of electrophoresis was when graphite was replaced by ruthenium coated titanium electrode. So there was no question of consumption of graphite, there was no question of carbon dioxide coming in, chlorine, and purification required. Now this has seen continuous improvement. What is the latest improvement? When you want a use for hydrogen, make it internal fuel cell, bring down cost electricity consumption, which is the main cost center in caustic soda. You would have thought in simple items like soda ash, caustic soda, sulfuric acid, nitric acid, what advances you will see and what advances you will keep on seeing. We are seeing advances in ammonia synthesis after 150 years. And we see more and can be developed by catalyst which can operate at lower temperatures so pressures will come down. Ruthenium and graphite is one such answer. But we have not been able to beat Haber so far. So, in fact, person who developed the mechanism of this catalyst also got Nobel Prize from Germany. He also got Nobel Prize because he could explain the mechanism of catalytic action of the catalyst. That catalyst is made in the most unusual way. You have one part, you just put this melt into trace, split into pieces. It's not extruded. It's very unusual. We have not been able to do anything. This is scope because it's a very, very big business. A very huge business. Now we are talking, if you want to see transitions in technology. Now you are talking ammonia as a hydrogen carrier as a fuel, and turbines have been developed where you burn ammonia. They are operational. So see to where that is chemical engineering, chemical. I must switch on to organic part and how petrochemical industry was born. America was always hungry for more gasoline, or they call gas. So heavier petroleum fractions were subjected to plain thermal cracking, and the off gases contain protein. And school chemistry told you that any molecule can be absorbed in concentrated sulfuric acid, and you dilute it, it hydrates and you get alcohol. So isopropanol was made by absorbing that gas into sulfuric acid, diluting that 75-80% sulfuric acid to something like 50%, taking out isopropanol, and first petrochemical in the world. You had a course in petrochemicals, and the great intellectual was the historian of life. Because we interacted with I interacted with all the persons, Sonalka, who was the magnetic effect I used to spend some time here interacting with every faculty member whenever I visited. I have very warm feelings towards LIT because it is such an old association. I think we should also put portrait of Dr. Because as an alumni, he became director of this because he was one of the renowned chemical engineers who took on solvent extraction and all. So first petrochemical was born. The next major innovation came when ethylene oxide to make glycol was made by chlorohydrin process, polluting, all chlorine wasted, all alkali wasted. And first time a vapor phase catalytic process came, ethylene plus oxygen going to ethylene oxide. You can imagine how tough it would be to make an oxygen ring in oxidation. Ethylene oxide is oxygen ring. At that time, the efficiency was 60% of theory. Would you believe that it reached so-called pinnacle of 85-86%? That pinnacle has been shattered. Theory has been abandoned. New theory has come. You can now go to 96-97%. So we can cut down CO2 emission. We cut down the heat load because each mole of carbon dioxide carries 94 kilocalories. This was, now mind you, at that time, again, the quicks of chemical industry. This was developed to make antifreeze, ethylene glycol. Because in cold climate, the water in the radiator will freeze. So you can't run your car. You put ethylene glycol in water, it acted as an antifreeze. So no one was worried about very high purity of ethylene glycol. But 1930s saw a major breakthrough in the history of chemical industry. Organic chemical industry or chemical industry in general. When entirely through discovery-driven process, Nylon 66 was born in Japan. And simultaneously polyester. And look at the revolution polyester has created. How many millions of tons of polyester for apparel, for film, for bottle. Extraordinary. Imagine what would have happened to the economically weak ladies in polyester sari. In 150 rupees, you can buy a sari which looks so good, doesn't wear out, requires very little water to wash, dries in few minutes. You can even manage in one sari. Your lady can even manage. It was not possible in cotton. Polyester revolution. Then we needed ethylene glycol of fiber grade. Same thing gave birth to terephthalic acid. But I must give you a little anecdotal part. Because people don't learn and read history of chemical industry. Polyester was invented both by DuPont and ICI. ICI developed the process of making EMT, alcohol terephthalate, by nitric acid oxidation of paraxylene. Because if you do normal air oxidation, you stop at monoester. So they made the methyl ester oxide with nitric acid. NOx emission became a problem. Two, there was nitrocrystallic acid impurity which affected the quality of the pipe. Then was born a liquid phase oxidation process directly from paraxylene using acetic acid as a solvent, cobalt manganese as a catalyst, a very elaborate theory by Sharma. So today nobody uses DMT to make polyester. All it is purified. First time in the history of chemical industry, in the nomenclature of a chemical word purified was PPA, purified petrochemical acid. Don't you consider this as a remarkable event in the history of chemical industry? How was a major breakthrough in the product as well as raw material. Same thing happened in the case of nylon. At this time, polymers came into big existence. And here is an example, and prior to this also, how serendipity played a big role in the history of chemical industry. LDP, low density polyethylene, was invented by ICI serendipitously. We saw in some high pressure compressor for every some packs coming. One of the anecdotal part which very few people know, that during Second War, when insulation was required for radar, this low density polyethylene, although available limited quantity from ICI, could be used to insulate radar. And Mr. Hitler did not have access to low density polyethylene, so he could not have radar. The British had radar, Germans didn't have radar, thanks to chemical industry. And how wonderful it was. And if you those who take interest in thermodynamics, because the little was, what is the solubility of ethylene in low density polyethylene melt at a pressure of 1000 bar or 1500 bar? So how do you design the stripper for dissolved ethylene coming out of the LDPE reactor? Very interesting, a highly non-ideal system. But the problem itself solved, and of course commercial grounds operated. And what happened later on, to repeat the history of what I told you, no technology developed. And came chemical engineering, completely chemical engineering oriented with catalysts. When fluidized bed reactors were designed to make linear low density polyethylene polypropylene, and you put a single reactor 1000 tons per day. No high pressure, only medium 30-40 pounds. It's called LLDP. Changed dramatically the entire thing in the polyethylene industry. Then adoption of polypropylene also the PR. But before that, just as I told you, quakes of First World War, necessity is mother of invention. You could fight any war without explosion. The Germans were desperate because they couldn't get Chilean saltpeter to make nitric acid by hook or crook. And for amusement of particularly students, you might wonder that nitric acid was done before ammonia was born. What was the source of ammonia? The source of ammonia was glucose gas. You scrub ammonia from glucose gas by sulfuric acid. Ammonium sulfate you react with lime, make ammonia. And Pune 30 factory in the beginning make nitric acid, making ammonia this ammonium sulfate, and ammonia nitric acid, because you don't treat nitric acid. And without explosives, you can't have war nor mining. Second war saw wonders of chemical engineering. By that time, chemical engineering was acquiring some maturity. And first, there are two major contributions, I would say three. One was fluidized bed reactor. The thermal cracking of heavier fractions now gave into completely fluidized bed because the carbon deposition was a problem. So fluidized bed reactor allowed the use catalyst to go to the chamber for regeneration. And before chemical engineering matured, this was a classic example of practice before theory. The theory of fluidization to your excess gas goes in the form of bubble stream later on, it will become very famous because they are the bubble flows. And you could see these bubbles bursting at the top, having actuation and all that. The fluidized bed reactor was a gift of chemical engineers. What? And At that time, nobody ever looked that futile bed reactors will be used for polymerization. It was in early 70s. These futile bed reactors were 40. And how astute is the design of these futile bed reactors today with the developments in chemical and something to be seen and witnessed. There were two other things that happened during Second War which are legendary. One was there is no mobility without rubber. Only rubber was natural rubber, which Allied forces were denied because any rubber coming from countries were blocked by Japanese. So America ordained 55 chemical companies to make synthetic rubber by hook or crook. So 3 processes were developed to make butadiene and 2 processes to make styrene. What were the 3 processes for butadiene? Very interesting. One from alcohol, the 2-step or 1-step, 2 carbon atoms going to 4 carbon atoms, oxygen going out. Second, ferment molasses was glucose to 2,3-butadiene, dehydrate that butadiene. Third, dimeryl acetylene, vinyl acetylene, hydrogenate selectively. This is also wonder of catalysis of that how you take vinyl acetylene and selectively hydrogenate that to butadiene without further hydrogenation. Just as acetylene in ethylene from any naphtha cracker at level of 1% or 2% is selectively hydrogenated without converting even a minute amount of ethylene. Not to consider this great wonders of catalysis that we are able to do, like CO in presence of hydrogen with gold catalyst we can convert it to CO. Wonders. These are what I call wonders of catalysis. That ammonia ko only kar de kind of thing. So butadiene was made by all these 3 processes. Styrene was made from dichlorobenzene by acetophenone hydrogenation dehydration. Dehydrogenation dichlorobenzene came later. And styrene became polystyrene became a very, very important thermoplastic. But now more or less superseded by polypropylene, but ABS and SAN are still very, very important. ABS is seen every day life, cabinets and function pens and whatnot. So second one, but the most outstanding apart from this, which I consider as a greatest breakthrough in the history of chemical industry, apart from those 2 which I gave earlier, was platforming. In extremely simple way, if I would tell you how hexane can be converted to benzene. Hexane is rolled up to cyclohexane, dehydrogenated, all in 1 step. How isomerization, cyclization, dehydrogenation can be done in 1 step. Platinum catalyst based reforming. We are still not able to replace moving matter. When you come out with something which is actually breakthrough, people laugh at it. And this happened in the UOP. The 2 great catalysis scientists departed answer were laughed at in the UOP board. That look at these Johnnies, $2 a barrel, they want to use platinum based catalyst to do this. Very soon they realized this was going to be the greatest breakthrough. We wouldn't have had benzene, toluene, xylene, which was only coming in quota. Today 98% of benzene, toluene, xylene comes only through reforming. So you wouldn't have had any terephthalic acid, isophthalic acid, benzoic acid, toluene, these chemicals, not only TNT, but explosive. And how many innovations have taken place both in catalysis as well as reactor? So you have to CCR, continuous catalyst regeneration units, not futile reactor. What you call moving back, fixed back reactor. Again, the gift of chemical engineers. How do you design continuous moving fixed back reactor? Let me see in over limited time what breakthroughs came in separation technology. People think distillation is a mature subject. So we got how many innovations in distillation, extractive distillation, as you put leave them out, apart from structured packing and all. Today you are talking of that completely new designs of distillation. Then finally reactive distillation. you know, this divided bond model has brought down energy consumption in capital cost. Fortunately, they have been implemented in divided bond model. A very important breakthrough in the history of distillation. What people call it. What was reactive distillation? Combined reactive and distillation together. All MTBE was made in the reactive distillation system. So the heat of reaction is utilized for distillation. And all of them were based on cation action and ion action reactions. So isobutylene plus methanol reaction was all carried out throughout the world with cationic ion action reactions in a reactive distillation system. Consider this. Similarly, in extraction, the metallurgists were busy with physical metallurgy. They didn't have much hang of hydrometallurgy. And uranium gave birth to hydrometallurgy because uranium ores were lean. How do you win uranium from such lean ores? So reactive extraction was entirely gift of chemical engineers. That you could extract out uranium with a chelating agent soluble in organic phase, denudate. So reactive extraction was a major breakthrough. Today, we have further advances because we can now use membranes for extraction. So when you don't have any problem of separation of emulsion and all, completely obviate this by using membrane extractors. So look at what kind of advances are taking place in supposedly natural subjects. Mind you, no benzene toluene xylene is possible without extraction. You can't make benzene toluene xylene from the reformer by plain distillation. No way. You have to use extractive distillation or extraction followed by distillation. Just see for yourself. Similarly, two major breakthroughs came. One was adsorptive separation. So you have adsorption. How? If I want to remove smoke, I can use cuprous-loaded adsorbent and regenerate. So reactive adsorbents are used commercially today, not only for CO recovery, but also to remove carbonyl sulfide from propane, which has same boiling point, or carbonyl sulfide coming out of blast furnace gas. How to recover CO from blast furnace gas? You know, they are just simply burning rather than vaporizing CO and hydrogen. Similarly, coke gas. So chemical engineers did all the simulation work, pressure swing adsorption was born, vacuum swing adsorption was born. Another novelty, one was pressure swing, another was vacuum swing, and multi-state. Today you can make pure nitrogen only by pressure swing adsorption, and you can use them for fitting fruit over very long distances, like in Australia, from one end to other end, 3 days, 4 days, or 5 days truck journey. To have skid mounted on the truck nitrogen unit based on pressure swing cycle. And COVID made it very popular. Because everybody knew PSA lagaya, we पूछा PSA क्या वो नहीं मालूम. Like hello, the next major breakthrough came through reverse osmosis. And when you learn lesson in physical chemistry, you always wonder what is this message hello going to do. Today all of us are beneficiaries of hello. All of us have hello water. But look at advances in the reverse hollow fiber, which came in the wake of textile apparel fibers and company. How it has made an impact on quality of life for the nephrology patient, dialysis patient. If you did not have hollow fibers, how difficult it would have been to carry out dialysis. So it's a very outstanding example. But we are talking now of reactive membranes also. We are talking now of two other major developments in the membrane. See how advances take place globally. I think from repeating new technology is over future. When I was a student, I didn't even have the word of membrane separation or pressure swing adsorption. Today you can't do without. So what are the real advances in membrane separation? Two, nanofiltration. Coupled with breakthroughs in polymer. So you can sieve out molecules with molecular weight more than 250 today, but tomorrow it will be 200. So your solvent recovery system is taking dramatic changes in the pharma industry. Can you imagine? that membrane doing nanofiltration. It would have been inconceivable. What a breakthrough! How big impact it is making in industry, both in pharma as well as agro. But we don't stop here. I'm going to tell you something next, which is yet another breakthrough. The charge membranes. They can distinguish between trivalent and monovalent. So you can remove the sodium sulfate at say 500 parts per million and saturated brine. You can run it through charge membrane, remove sodium sulfate selectively without losing any sodium. It's commercially available. But where is the new excitement of this charge membranes to be used in forthcoming industry? It is lithium. All lithium was in magnesium. Magnesium is divalent. There are already a series of papers where how charge membranes can be used to remove magnesium from lithium. So there was simple arrow with films. There was it with hollow fiber. Where is nanofiltration with advances in polymer that we can even handle dimethyl formamide containing solutes in pharma industry. You can exchange solvents. All kinds of things you can do. Lastly, what major breakthroughs are taking place in crystallization? My generation of people, when we learned crystallization, we used to have only two examples: sodium thiosulfate crystallization and copper sulfate. They are now complete background. Today, you can't make any API without crystallization. Hardly any API is made without crystallization. And I always give this example of chemical engineers versus chemists in the pharma industry. And I'm telling you the live experience. You do all this work, put up a plant. The product is meeting the specification by way of purity, but you can't sell it because it doesn't have proper oil density, nor does it have proper loss of brine. Your crystallizer has been designed badly. You have to rectify an existing plant. It is a more daunting task than designing air conditioning. So I always tell in pharma, please work in a way in all process development, which is the modern outlook. Never do like a relay exercise. In the relay you give to next level. You start with chemist and you go chemical engineer. Chemical engineer points a lot of fault with chemist. Chemist finds fault with chemical engineer. Put them together from the beginning. Whom will you bring? And biology, then bring biologists in the beginning. That's called relay exercise. Because you have to all put together in a boat. So you call it not relay, but rowing. So go in the rowing way. You all work together. So crystallization has seen a lot of improvements by chemical engineering, the population balance method, prediction of polymorph. You know, many drugs, polymorph is critical. And they don't understand how crystallization, even a simple example of carbonating lime slurry, that you can get calcite, veterite, argonite by changing the emissions. And all are important for various applications. As I mentioned in the morning, some of you might have been present, that this precipitated calcium carbonate is used in toothpaste. If it doesn't meet the right particle size and right crystal habit, it will not be accepted in the dental industry. So absorption gave birth to chromatographic separation. So we have simulated moving back contact. And today, even 100 tons per annum of chiral molecules are going through SNPC to chiral columns. One such company in India, has very sophisticated chiral columns for SNPC, costing 35 crores. See, where absorption, where chromatographic separation, we are not talking of chromatography in the lab, I am talking of commercial scale. First time SNPC was used for as simple a molecule like glucose fructose separation. People have forgotten that. That is not only for sophisticated molecules, when glucose fructose was separated by SNPC. So separation technology is undergone also a dramatic change. There are many more examples in history of chemical, polycarbonate, many other engineering plastics, and the story goes on. But lastly, I would tell, when phenol was made by clean process rather than sulfonation, alcoholic fusion or fusion, how aniline was made by hydrogenation and nitrobenzene rather than stoichiometric reduction. These are all now taken for granted, but they were classic examples of polluting process being replaced by clean process. Clean chemistry is talked about very these days, but it has been part and parcel of chemical industry from the beginning. The last important process that was developed has made a big impact was how you convert butane to molecular. To tell a chemist, I have butane, when you convert it to molecular, it is instantaneous answer taken on. This is conducted on very large scale. A very novel development in catalyst and reaction. Combination of catalyst and reaction engineering has allowed, instead of benzene being oxidized to molecular anhydride with 2 carbon atoms, 2 carbon dioxide, 94 kilograms. Like naphthalene to helical anhydride replaced by orthoxylene to helical anhydride. So you see the utility of chemical industry, the charm of chemistry, the wonders of chemical engineering, what an enjoyable treat it is. That we are so useful to society, and I close by saying we cannot live without use of chemical industry, but life will be much better and enjoyable with the use of chemical. And to enjoy chemical engineering and chemical industry.
I request Professor Pandit to say a few words as it is his first visit to our university. Earlier, he visited many times to Lakshminarayan Institute of Technology, but this is his first visit to Lakshminarayan University of Technology University. I request him to say a few words on this occasion. And Professor Yadav is the host today because he is our chairman of Board of Governors. And guest Pandit sir, Vice Chancellor of ICT University, please sir.
Professor Sharma, Professor Yadav, all my best friends I've been visiting, as Pandit sir said, quite regularly, been in contact with Pandit. Unfortunately, he is not here today. But it is indeed my first visit to university. I would just like to take this opportunity to thank Professor Pandit for not asking us to speak and allowing us to listen to Professor Sharma without any disturbance. This we also don't get such opportunities very frequently. And today he spoke for almost 45 minutes or so, but he can go on doing it for an entire day and he will not be tired. This is not my first lecture which I have listened of him, but multiple lectures, and every lecture which I listen, I learn something new in it. So thank you, Professor Pandit, for giving us this opportunity. And I think when I was looking at the photographs of visions, LIT has also really produced some outstanding chemical engineers, which have made really seminal contribution in chemical engineering. And we used to have Professor D.D. Kale, who was alumni, Professor V.G. Pangarkar, who was alumni, and one of the outstanding chemical engineers who really made an impact was Dr. P.D. Kulkarni of National Chemical Laboratories. We lost him, but a kind of original contribution and linking mathematics engineering and chemistry, his contribution is unparalleled in the history of chemical engineering. So we must celebrate chemical engineering, and I am sure Professor Sharma has been practicing it for more than 50 years and he still enjoys it. We have another 50 years to look forward to, and I am sure even after another 50 years, we will still find the charm of chemistry and chemical engineering doesn't end. The more you study, the more you start enjoying it, and you know, the lesser you know. So you keep on working towards it, and it is nice to have been able to listen to Professor Sharma. And again, thank you for inviting me. And let us decide to re-establish the contacts between ICT and NIT again and start working towards something better together and something better with all the faculties of ICT and NIT collaborating, writing joint proposals, working together and see how we can contribute, at least in the western region, to the growth of chemical industry, chemical engineering. Thank you very much, Professor Mankar, for allowing me to say a few words on this occasion. Thank you.
If our faculty members or the students, particularly students, if you have any questions, we'll take 2-3 questions only addressed to Professor M.M. Sharma. This is an opportunity, so particularly we'll ask the faculty later, but from the students present over here.
You spoke about such a beautiful history of chemical engineering and how it evolved, what were the new breakthroughs, so many breakthroughs indeed, and such an exciting journey. But how beautiful will it be our future? What are the different opportunities? Like I being a final year undergrad, who wish to go to academia. So what would be your message to all of us who want to pursue academia further? What would be the great opportunities you see? Where does our sciences?
First of all, we should have innate interest in building up people. Life of teacher is building up people. And I have no hesitation in saying that I continue to bask in the glory of my former students. Where is first? Money is not all that matters in life. Today's salaries are reasonably good, and if you are provided accommodation, it becomes even more attractive. You can always go somewhere. If I could choose the due modesty, I can tell you, I took up this job, quarter of my salary in Montevideo or after I had in Europe and America. Why? Because I had conviction that I wanted to do teaching, research. Administration came later on. But teaching and research is what, and that to do research will not think about this facility is not available. Break your brains and come up with ideas centric. Today, of course, research has become so competitive that it is indispensable. You have to have sophisticated, but even then, there is no substitute for ideas. Simple experiments, revealing experiments. So don't come to academia only research or only teaching. It must be a combination of research and teaching. And then interacting, because like in medical field, if you learn surgery, if you cannot demonstrate surgery in a hospital, you are not a surgeon. So why don't we take that responsibility that if we are chemical engineers and we cannot demonstrate our capability in the marketplace, what is our work? So please keep this thing in mind. Teaching, research, interacting with us. How we develop market for PhDs. And people today take it for granted, but believe me, in 60s it was not easy to get PhDs employed in industry with higher salary. And unless PhD because of PhD work. Another people work for 70 hours a week, never see any holiday. America exploited PhD work to the hilt, mostly with pharmaceuticals. So, it's a very enjoyable experience. I tell you, with 23 years, nobody could lure me to go for so-called very prestigious books. So I just loved, every time I gave a talk on my way back to my room, I used to delight, convince the students about the subject I was or any other subject that I want. That is, if you have that kind of fire, if you are willing to work 24/7, because research is 24/7, please don't, it's a tough life. Today what happens is engineering is killed in India because of IT and people don't want to work in industry, go for an easy thing. So you are not getting any job and you take up teaching, right? So why there's many private engineering colleges, some payment to the teachers, what quality education will come out of those colleges? They are there because they didn't get a job and they are being paid on hourly basis or something. So that, you guys may not know, but I played a very big role in regional engineering colleges being made independent. So, engineering college Nagpur used to suffer because of Nagpur University. You could make any innovation in the syllabus or experiment. And when at the time of your platinum jubilee, the presence of Vice Chancellor said that why you are neglecting autonomy to be given to LIT? Because I was invited, so I asked them to speak what I wanted to say. That is another thing. Remember, my pet statement I always make, we in universities have spiritual freedom to pursue our ideas. We don't have management pressure. Head of the department can't twist your tail. The director of the institute cannot twist your tail. If you are on your own, you command respect, nobody can come to your way. I hope you agree. Anybody else? We have to go to the airport, so do it fast.
I am Vishnu, chemical engineering second year. So as I have known that chemical engineering is one of the top difficult courses to pursue. So I want to ask one of the stalwarts of chemical engineering and technology world, what was your experience as an undergrad and postgrad for pursuing chemical engineering?
See, my undergraduate education was not good because we didn't get teachers. One was a permanent demonstrator and temporary lecturer, temporary leader. And I wanted to do the job position was fabulous. The year in which I graduated in 1958, well before our exam, all got multiple job offers. I was the one who didn't appear for leave because I wanted to decide. And the person who was to guide me just said, walked out and guide me. So then I ended and tried to do the common. But I persisted. Now, with due modesty, I am saying you have to have that fire in the belly. You want to do research. It's a demanding, it is extreme end. You can be a hopeless teacher. Because in our system, in all government institutions, you can't be sacked. You try to sack a teacher, you may get sacked from the teacher. Sacking anybody who not performing, whether it is the ICT or LIT, next to it. Get it right. So if you are stuck with a bad teacher, students will tenaciously remember bad teacher, but they also tenaciously remember good teacher. So that is a lifetime. When I used to work with a lot of bureaucrats in the league, they are all important to me. There are more coming and sitting in your mouth. I said I don't respect them. I am not occupying a chair with regular power. I have only one power for transmitting thoughts. So this is a big difference. The teachers have this job, very demanding job, very difficult job of transmitting ideas. thermodynamics practice, we will carry this impression throughout the thermodynamics of the. If you are taught well, you will remember thermodynamics tenaciously.
Yeah, I think we have to stop here. We have to catch a flight, and we are not sure. Last night we almost missed India because the airport was closed. We landed here early in the morning, went to bed at 2 o'clock in the morning. Again, we are ready. So we had almost cancelled our booking because the flights were all delayed because the airport was closed. Right? So you can imagine. So now we have to excuse us. Some other time we will have more information. But I must thank Professor Sharma for giving a wonderful lecture. You know, he has been my guru, right, from 1970 when I joined chemical engineering. So I know his compassion, his teaching, research, innovation, and particularly, perhaps you don't know, he encouraged a lot of girls to take up research and very, very confident. And also husbands. So thank you very much.
Today, I just would like to mention that in fact, Professor Sharma, Professor Pandit, and Professor Yadav were the guests of Soviet other side, Medical College. And Professor Yadav told me that, and we requested all of them to be here. And I thank them because they agreed to be here because they have a long association with Petrochemical. And many of you may not be knowing, today they were the guests with Soviet other side, Medical College. That is run by Sharad Karnik and Hemant Karnik. Both are our students. Sharad is my 1 year senior and Hemant is junior. And more than that, Professor Karnik was Lakshminarayan Institute of Technology Professor, Department of Physics. He was also the Vice Chancellor of Rashtrapati Maharaj, Nagpur University, known as Nagpur University there. So, I thank the management of Dental College, Sharad and Hemant, for giving us this unique opportunity, and we requested to sirs and all of them agreed within a minute, and finally here in fact yesterday we were worried because I am following up the position of the fight, but thanks God it happened. The morning program and this program went on well. So on behalf of all of us, I thank you sir. Sharma sir, thank you very much.
Before concluding, I want to make a very interesting comment. Last night our flight was delayed. We were upgraded and again went back. And someone was sitting next to us. His father was an airline graduate of 54. His name was Mr. Rishi and he was the managing director of Nagpur. He is no more, but this is another distinguished alumnus who met Professor Sharma and said, this came around. Do you know K. You were managing director of Muslim. So sir and we were discussing how many allied years there were and power gases, including the second Kushi. Okay, thank you very much.
And we'll just conclude the session by national anthem. Request of everybody, please.
पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाए तव जय गाए मंगलदायक जय हे भारत